Okay, immediately after I ended that last shot, Halloween 2018. What did I think? I know if you watch my last review to know what I thought of the original. I liked this more than the original because I feel this movie took way too long. I mean, I haven't seen any of the other Halloween sequels, and I know Halloween 2 is considered a great one too, which is a direct continuation immediately when the last one takes off. But I feel like that sort of clashes with the incredible ending of the last one. Which I meant to talk about that. Well, anyway, these are really two peas in a pod. So I'll talk about the ending of the first Halloween was incredible. When it cuts outside after he's been shot multiple times and goes to the ground and he's gone, and it starts playing the Halloween theme. Incredible shot, one of the best shots in the movie. Like it was great. I should have mentioned that in my last review. Anyway, I feel like this movie is the logical continuation of a world where the events of the first one took place. And I thought that was very well done and very surprising that it took this long to make this logical continuation. And like I said, I have not seen any of the other Halloween movies other than the original and this. And that's what they want you to do. That's what they want because they've decanonized every film except for this one. So, I mean, except for the original and this one, obviously. So everything else, everything in the Halloween universe is decanonized. So it's perfect, honestly, to not have that baggage and to just go into this one as this is the sequel to the original. And I think that very strongly because everything is logically progresses so smoothly. You have our protagonist, Laurie, from the original, has taken the exact progression you would expect for someone that survived Michael Myers. Like it's the exact psychological progression, and I find it really interesting. Like they don't really necessarily like play it up through dialogue and like they don't really ham fist it, but there's this subtle narrative throughout that our protagonist has sort of become the monster herself, if that makes sense. And they do this very cleverly by recreating shots from the original, but from the perspective of other characters. And instead of seeing Michael Myers where those shots would have taken place, they'll see her. And I thought that was very well done and very clever, subtle way to sort of where if you haven't seen the original in a very long time, I'm glad I watched it, and haven't really like picked up on that, or you're not a fan of the original, or you haven't seen the original period, you wouldn't appreciate those scenes. I thought that was very well done. It did a really good job of conveying the psychological transformation of this character. And I mean, don't get me wrong, none of the characters in the movie were very interesting except for her. I mean, the mom could have, her daughter, mom of the teenager, could have been very interesting if she wasn't so ham-fisted with her dialogue. And she's Kitty from Arrested Development. But yeah, like if she would, everything she says, like, this is what is happening in my brain. This is what happened to me. I'm going to spell it out for the dumb audience. That was dumb, ridiculous. But I thought some of the teenage characters were pretty funny. I thought the kid, the blonde babysitter was pretty funny, but the kid that she was babysitting was so fucking funny. Like every word that came out of his mouth, I was dying laughing. He was the best part of this movie, but then he just disappeared, which is a little weird. All of the high school stuff was stupid, boring bullshit. They did not need to be in this movie. They could have taken that time to develop our protagonist. Well, not really necessarily Purvis, but Jamie Lee Curtis more. And they could have easily used that time for that. But yeah, they tried to do this weird twist in the middle that literally went nowhere. They're like, okay, let's do this really cool, like really subtle twist. I'm like, wow, that's really cool, and it immediately goes nowhere. It immediately ends. Nothing, nothing of value comes of it, and it's like you think the twist in the movie is going to be this, and you're like, oh wow, that's really interesting and that's really clever. But then it immediately abandons it. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, what happened, but it just immediately abandons the twist. Like, we kind of like, maybe, they're like, yeah, we're going to do this twist. Never mind. And it's like, what the fuck? But, yeah, I mean, I have complaints about it. It does have a lot of problems, but for what it does well, it does very well. And I'd say I enjoyed this more than the original. I mean, you need the context of the original to enjoy it more than the original. That makes sense. So essentially, they're two peas in a pod. They're really it really is such a natural progression from the original that it surprises me that it took this long to make this movie. And yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth seeing. I wouldn't say it's like a must-see masterpiece, but it's definitely worth it.